but they are able to get shrimp, for instance, for maybe.
Well, I know the shrimp market for a long time, this has been impacted by like Korea and places like that. But
right.
I mean, are they really, with the weight and size of oysters, do oysters really get shipped like shrimp?
No, I've never seen oysters come from overseas.
I mean, I think you can like get them out of the shell, and you can probably freeze them and send them that way. But it seems like the biggest thing is with the shrimp.
What I see come from overseas is just about any of your species of fish, okay, and definitely shrimp is one of their biggest markets. But the biggest thing is shrimp, catfish, tilapia, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I use the company that brings...
And crawfish.
Yeah, that's exactly right, crawfish. I forgot about that. But I use a company that brings literally seafood in from Malaysia. It goes to Houston, and they send an 18-wheeler here every day. And you have to buy by the pallet load. But your savings, I don't care who you buy from here in Louisiana, you're going to save a third.
Yeah, so I've heard the foreign competition is very, very, very steep.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I don't know how they're processing it, but, depending on what count of shrimp you buy, when you open that box, I don't know how they do this, but every shrimp is identical in size and perfectly stacked. You can tell it's very processed. But I will say this. There's a distinctive flavor to Louisiana seafood, which is the best in my opinion. Okay, it's definitely oysters, and but I know that the seafood business won't be killed. Maybe it might not be Louisiana seafood, but the restaurants will still have access to seafood.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can definitely tell the difference in shrimp. I mean, I won't order shrimp and say like Florida. It tastes different. It's not good. Yeah. They don't fry it the same. It's just that freshness is gone.
Right. Now, up in the northern part of the country, I see a difference. But when you say Florida, I disagree a little bit. The oysters, I definitely think, are not the same because for some reason they have a different law over there where they make them pasteurize the oyster, which takes a lot of the flavor away.
Well, that was a new law that came out, and that's also affected the Louisiana oyster harvester in a negative way because they have to process them within a certain amount of time to be able to
correct.
And that was hurting the industry, and now we've got this on top of it. So a lot of people think it's going to be tough sledding for a while for these guys.
Right. What we have to keep in mind is, down in the South, most of all your seafood comes from the same place, which is the Gulf of Mexico. You have towns like areas like Lafitte and whatnot where these shrimpers go in and they're trawling all these little bayous and canals and whatnot. And also here in New Orleans, Lake Pontchartrain produces a lot of shrimp.
Richard, Russell Stegeman.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Good to have you.
Great. I got a traffic question.
Great.
I just recently received a citation for careless operation. I drive a commercial vehicle. I was making a right-hand turn on Williams Boulevard, and I turned into the nearer lane. I did not cross the line, but on my work truck, I got an extended mirror. And in the far lane coming was a school bus with an extended mirror on their right fender. A couple of seconds after I made my turn, our mirrors clashed. Being a commercial vehicle, I had to report the accident. I get the citation. I'm the only one who got the citation for careless operation. The investigating officer, the first one came on the scene, was like, I don't know, I was assuming he wasn't too familiar with investigating an accident because another one wound up on the scene and that first officer left. It was determined that, it was in doubt as to whether the mirror on the fender of that bus or they also had an upper mirror on their passenger side. They were debating which mirror hit my mirror. My bottom mirror, which is a dual mirror on the extension bar, was crashed. So I would guess that her bottom mirror on the school bus is the one hit my bottom mirror, which caused it to go forward and make contact with my vehicle and shatter. Now, the officer is going to tell me that, I'm going to write you up for a citation for careless operation, but don't worry about that because that's just a coverall citation. Now, my thought is this is to fight that ticket. Based on what I told you, could you give me your opinion on that particular situation?
Where you got this out in Kenner?
Yes, sir.
Quick read on it is, in a traffic situation like that, it's been my experience in Jefferson Parish and in Kenner, if you got the ticket, you can, of course, go to trial and, see how that comes out. But as a practical matter, what most people in your situation are going to do is, since you got the ticket, regardless of what you do, is paying it, not paying it, going to trial, or whatever, your insurance company may pay off the school bus driver. And if you go out to the city attorney when you go to court and say, look, here's a letter from my insurance company showing that this lady with the school bus is making no claim against me, her damages are satisfied, usually they're going to work with you.
Okay, there is no damage to the other vehicle. My mirror was the only one shattered.
Oh, so she had no damage at all?
None. Well, maybe a little nick on the bars of the mirror, but that was it. So I don't think they did not file the claim.
Well, this is another one about like the traffic courts in every jurisdiction are very, very hard work. But with the kind of situation like that where you're kind of contesting a little bit. I mean, you can hire an attorney. I have clients that hire me to do tickets like that. I also believe that, as long as you feel confident, you can go yourself and talk to the city attorney. They're usually pretty liberal if you don't feel comfortable to give you another court date. But I think that they're open to listening to you without putting you in the position of having to maybe try to do a formal trial where you might not understand all the rules and procedures. Yeah. I think going there, I would go to court. I would talk to the city attorney and see if he'll work with you. That's usually how that's going to play out. And I would say your chances are very, very high that they're going to make you happy.
Okay, so I would just, when I go for my court date, just plead not guilty to the ticket?
Plead not guilty, and then if they don't have anyone there to talk to that day, just come back the day they assign and talk it out with them, because they got some really good, hardworking guys over there, and they don't want to let people, if they get a ticket and the other party's damages, they're not gonna they want to see everyone made whole. But I think they'll work with you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Richard. Thanks for your call.
Thank you.